All right, so let me see. All right, so well, I was going to go into how the sun actually makes its journey. So if we're looking at the inner part of the Roman numerals here, if we're looking at the inner part of it, we could say that that would be the Tropic of Cancer, okay, which would be in our northern hemisphere, and this would be your North Pole, where the center of the hands meet. Okay, so we'll say that's the North Pole. This is the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, this inner part of the Roman numeral. This ring here would be your equator. Okay, and then this outer ring would be your Tropic of Capricorn, all the way around. So the sun's journey is actually starting on that inner ring. So let's say you're going out and we're going to the tropic, to the equator, and then it goes all the way out here to December. This is where December is, way out here, December 25th. So December 21st is the winter solstice, okay? 21st through 24th, and then the 25th is when we celebrate, Christmas, okay? Why are we celebrating there? Well, we're celebrating because we know that sun isn't going anywhere further beyond that point. So we're celebrating because of the return. Its return back to the equator. Okay, it's coming towards the northern hemisphere, bringing with it its legion of angels that Jesus talks about. Okay, so it's bringing the angels here, which has angles. Angles are degree that measure in degrees. When you get closer, those degrees, those angles increase the temperature by degrees and brings the warmth that activates the life of the minerals, the plants, and the animals, and the human beings. Okay, so the coming of the sun back to right ascension Aries, which is at the equator, is, that would be your springtime. So we're looking at the next holiday that's coming, that this one kicks off. Okay, so December 25th kicks off the return of Christ. Okay, now when Christ gets here into the months of March and April, that's when springtime is here. Okay, and I covered that in Het Heru. Okay, so springtime gets here. That's when the fructification of all of the plants and so forth, flora and fauna, it comes forth, brings forth its bounty, and we all rejoice. Okay, so that would be the resurrection and the ascension of Jesus the Christ. Okay, so we have that type of thing going on here, in this realm. And if you're still having doubts, here's the smoking gun. If you have a camera and you travel, okay, and you're able to set your aperture to stay open for a few hours out in the wilderness, out away from lights and everything, if you're able to find the North Star Polaris, you can actually start seeing the star trails make a perfect circle. We're not talking about stars doing this, making erratic movement. That would suggest that we live on a ball if that were happening, but it's perfect circles, which means that it means that we're not moving, and that these stars are fixed. And so if we could see the North Star in the southern hemisphere, okay, remember we have the equator. We know Ecuador is somewhere near the equator, and somewhere in Africa there's the equator runs through. I'm trying to think of the country, but anyway, we'll be able to find that out. And we know that if you go further south towards the tip of, say, like Argentina, if you're able to look up and see that, or even Brazil, anything below the equator, you're able to see that North Star Polaris, and you get that same equidistant concentric circle made by all of the stars. You know that we live on a flat plane. Okay, so these are experiments that you can do yourself. Okay, and then plug in the numbers that they give you as far as the curvature. Okay, and what that should be, and you'll find that it's much smaller than what that would make the Earth so much smaller. And then you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that? Okay, a little memory back, if you had history, when they were when they had the explorers, those explorers coming from Europe, you'll know that a lot of people are just like we are now. We don't know what's beyond the ice at the south, near what they call the South Pole, or the Antarctic Circle. Okay, so we can almost imagine history repeating itself if we don't wake up. We can almost imagine that. And some of the things that happen when people move from Europe to these new lands, especially for the African people, the atrocities were pretty bad, because they needed free labor in order to expand their empires. Okay, so that's a little food for thought. So while we are celebrating Christmas, we need to know what we're saying, what we're doing, why we're doing it. What the language is saying. When we say Merry Christmas, when we say Happy Holiday, Happy Holy Day, what makes these days holy? And if you ask that question, then you'll find that the world you live in is more wondrous than you could ever imagine. So, with that said, I want to have you to stay tuned for part 2, and I will be covering the physiologic and the psycho-spiritual aspect of Heru, and that's going to carry us on into the spring, so that we can be prepared to proactively create the world, create the experiences that we as kings and queens deserve. Okay, deserve. All right, so yeah, thank you all for watching, and once again, happy Holy Day. Take care, and enjoy yourselves. Don't overindulge. All right.